Etapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, haru nefer. This is Qesankh my Keparu trying to clean up his desk with another great broadcast for you. And in this broadcast, we're going to get into a cool technique to manifest money called the money wallet manifestation technique. But before I go into that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can sign up for a free ebook. Just scroll down below, check out the links, click on them, and download that ebook and start reading it today. If, however, you want to know more and your appetite is not satisfied with the ebook, you can become a Patreon supporter. You can do so or support us for as little as $1, $5, $6, $7, $20, whatever you like. There's no obligation. You can cancel at any time, and you will get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that will teach you how to meditate, your proper breathing exercises, Qigong, how to summon the spirits for your protection, how to contact the ancestors, and how to work with oracles. And if you are an Osir level supporter, you'll get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. Haru Nefer, how are you? I'm a little tired because we went out last night. We went out to a club here. And a very interesting time, you know. Hey, oh yeah, but before I get into that, I don't know if you guys have tried Daya. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's the vegan cheese. I've tried different vegan cheeses and haven't liked this. So I said I'll try this one. And I must admit, when I first opened it, I took a couple bites. It smelled like cheese. And it's weird because when you bite it, I'm not going to eat this. You get the flavor of the cheese, and then there's a couple of weird aftertastes. And essentially, it's like eating cardboard. I was just like, oh, no, this is not cheese. It's awful. And I was like, well, maybe putting it on my sandwich will kill the taste, but then what's the point of it then? You know what I mean? This one is supposed to be, I guess they advertise it because most of the problem that they're having with vegan cheese is getting it to melt. So I don't know if you can see it, but right here, kind of looks like they have achieved that. Well, I know they have achieved that with some cheeses where they can actually get it to melt, because prior to that, vegan cheeses wouldn't melt. And so we couldn't have like cool grilled cheese sandwiches. But this one, it's just not for me. Maybe you'll like it. I just didn't like it. I was like, I'm not going to buy this. I'd rather eat just regular cheese than that. You know what I mean? So whew, it was an experience. It's like you're chewing on it and you're going, okay, there's a little bit of cheese flavor. Then the cardboard flavor kicks in, and then another aftertaste kicks in, and all of it you don't like. You know what I mean? But anyway, we went out last night and we had a pretty good time. I really was not in the mood to go out. I didn't want to go. It was like, I was adamant, but I, had to go because I had friends in town. And the girl that came to see me, I ended up losing her in the club. I mean, I didn't even know how that happened. So that was like really disappointing because we're talking. She said she's going to meet up. She was going to leave for a second to meet up with the rest of the group. And I was trying to like listen to the DJ. And next thing I know, I can't. She's gone. So I'm walking around trying to find her, and I couldn't find her. And what was weird was I met up with this other girl who I had just met. Started talking to her, and let me put it to you this way: she was Latina, and let me put it to you this way: she was very well endowed, if you know what I mean. But the most frustrating thing about it was when I was talking to her, some guy comes out of nowhere and he looks at her and he goes, "Oh my God, you got the biggest tits." And he says it so loud. So I actually and I think he wanted to try and talk to her. So I grabbed her and I could see she was very uncomfortable. And we kind of turned our backs to him. But I couldn't believe this guy did this. I'm like, why would you like just say that out loud? That's so rude, man. It was like funny. And she felt like uncomfortable. But this is going somewhere, by the way. I'm not just saying this. So I had a friend there, and he's from Canada, Most of my friends are Canadian. This is weird. So I was telling him that you could get well, I was schooling him on different things. Like I was saying that you can get a woman to approach you, because he was approaching women there. And I said, if you just meditate and you're on the right frequency, you can have them come and talk to you. So I said, a lot of times women will come and stand near your proximity when that's their way of showing interest. So when I showed him a technique to get women to come up and talk to him, it was good, because it only took about 5-10 minutes for me to show him a technique, and it actually worked right away, which is a good experience. Because sometimes techniques will take time, could be. It depends on your belief system, and he believes because he's seen a lot of things that I've done, so his belief system is already there. And I'm going to get into that whole aspect of how your belief system has to be right in order for magic to work. Yeah, that's pretty sad. The Wandering Sage. I've heard about Michael Williams. That's really, really sad. His transition. So we'll give him some positive energy, and may he rest in power. Okay, so this leads on to something. You see, when I coach you guys, it always is a frustration, and it's not necessarily your fault. It's always a frustration that your mindset is so deeply embedded in Western culture, because everything with you guys is, what do I need to read? Can you show me? And you must understand that in the Kemetic spiritual tradition, it's not about reading and showing you. It's about you being. See, you have the faculties within you. You just have to awaken them through frequencies. So there's nothing for you to read or me to necessarily show you, but it's more so you chanting the right mantra, getting in the right mindset, and allowing that energy to come up within you, to being receptive and open, and allowing that frequency to work. In relationships where there's a bit of strife, I tell them, okay, you chant this mantra and do the meditation. Well, do we need to go to couples therapy? What do we? No. Just chant this mantra and meditate. And you know, and I'm like, everything will be on autopilot. It'll work. You have to trust this. The relationship will become harmonious on its own. You don't need to do anything. And it's very difficult for people to understand that, because Western culture is always about either talk therapy or motivational speeches, Anthony Robbins, so, and remember, we're caught up in a cult of personalities. So you go and you see these figures who have a lot of charisma, your pimp pastors, your motivational speakers, but they don't have the solution for you. And you get caught up so much in the problem, the paralysis of analysis, meaning that when people come to you and they tell you the problem from a different perspective, they tilt it, and you're flabbergasted. You're like, oh, he's deep. Wow. But all he's doing is just telling you the problem. David Icke is famous for this. David Icke comes and tells you about the totalitarian tiptoe, the ruling elite, the what's that called? The serpents, is it? The lizard people? But he can't give you a way of life to live that will enhance your being, enhance your welfare. He can only reiterate the problem in a different way each time he has a lecture. All right. And we have to also remember that we are the power. When we look at rituals, when we look at magic wands, when we look at the stones, magic powders, they all work, but they're permission slips. They're crutches. They're ways of just allowing you to believe in yourself. That's all they are. You don't really need those things. But I have to give it to you. I may have to give you a magical herb until you graduate to the point of when you're a magician who believes in his or her own power without the external tool. The I-ching, the great oracle, says, You've lost your magic tortoise. You're leaning on things which can't support you. So you need to eventually let the magic wand go, let the herbs go, let the ritual go, and recognize the fact that Osir or Osiris is within you. And just, for example, the guy in the club, and I had no magic wand with me. I had no magic powder, even though I do have a powder that helps you attract the opposite mate. But I didn't have anything there. But I was able to say, hey, listen, chant this mantra. And I did some hypnosis to him. I pulled him aside and then just private part of the club, and I put him under a trance state. And I fed him a post-hypnotic suggestion saying that the women will come to him. But there was nothing as a tool I used. You understand? This is the level you've got to, holy crap, where's my cup? Oh, it disappeared. You've got to get to that point. Stop always thinking about it's a technique. Remember when the Egyptologists went to Kemet, they couldn't find a Bible. That's not how we operated. We didn't operate based on writing things down like that, technique by technique. Remember, the way, the Tao, is being in tune with the universe. And you can't write that down because it's ever changing. Tahuti is in tune with the universe. Tahuti is intuition, summoning knowledge at the moment it's needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? These charlatans in the Hotep community, they don't have anything. This is why they try to woo you with intellectual masturbation, and most of you fall for it. They don't practice the use of the oracles. They don't summon spirits. They don't know how to put somebody under hypnosis. One of the guys came to me, he says, is it true what I heard? I said, well, what did you hear? He says that you could manipulate and control people. I said, well, I hate to use those terms, but just so you understand, yeah, to a degree, yes, I can. But that's not what I chose to do. Other people were like, damn, you're really good at hypnosis. Why don't you do stage hypnosis? I said, I don't want to do that. I don't like standing up on the stage manipulating people and making the audience laugh. If something bothers me, I want to do healing. Oh, you like the diva? You like the cheese? That's cool. Okay. Well, you know, it's just probably not for my palate, but hey, if you like it, that's great, you know? Sorry, medicine time. That's wonderful. There's another cheese that I like. This is the first time me trying that one, you know, and probably the last time too. So please rely on yourself. Now, the magic that I teach is very different from what you will see what Aleister Crowley practices in the Thelma religion or many others. There are a lot of great magicians of yesteryear and different techniques. Mine goes more closely to the law of attraction, maybe you could say, but not necessarily, because it's a mixture of that traditional African and definitely Kemetic magic from the Egyptian mystery school. But what I want you to understand and why I got into hypnosis is because it's all about alternate states of consciousness. I figured that out at a very early age in life. Very early. I knew that if I can get myself to the alternate stage of consciousness, I could perform a miracle. I could do things. As a kid, I came to that realization that comes from my past life where I brought my memories with me. But I knew it was all about alternate state of consciousness. Now, let me go into this powerful, powerful technique of money manifestation. If you are a Patreon supporter, there's a video on Patreon of where I show you how you can walk down the street and manifest money. And I remember doing this technique in New York. And the reason why I remember this one specific time, because it was very odd. I was manifesting a lot of money. So what I would do is I would walk down the street and there would be like 20s, 10s on the street. And I would just go and pick it up because I was manifesting that, right? So I had kind of like fell into the secret of how to do that because I didn't read that in any book. I just fell into how to do it. And I remember one time I was walking and these construction workers were in a circle and they were talking to each other. And I told this story before. They were talking to each other. And on the floor in front of them, I think it was $50. It was $50 in the middle of the circle of where they were all talking. Now I had to go and break and go right in between the circle. And I hate that because men, they always get jealous because I'm so handsome. So I was like, oh, I'm a little apprehension about going and breaking that circle. But I walked into the circle and immediately I saw the $50 on the floor. And what kind of gave me pause was I was like, wait a minute, they have to see that. There's no way they can't see that money just sitting there. So I walked and just picked it up and kept going. And I checked it to make sure it was legit. And I was like, well, how did they not see it? And in that video, I explained how they didn't see it because it wasn't meant for them. It was meant for me. So check that out. So let me go into this technique. For this technique to work, you must be in the alpha state. Alpha is the trance state, the alternate state of consciousness. Here's what you're going to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to meditate for 30 minutes. If you don't know how to meditate, you can check out my video on Patreon or one of my previous videos here on meditation. You're going to meditate for 30 minutes, and the meditation will be a visualization of you walking and seeing a wallet on the floor. You will see yourself pick up the wallet, and it'll be full of cash. And the cash will be large bills, very large bills. Okay? And you're going to pick it up and put it in your pocket. Now, strange thing happened in the subway in New York. For some reason, I was working at a stockbroker's firm, and I kept thinking about wallets and money. I kept thinking about wallets and money. I go down to the subway. I think I was trying to catch the 2 train. And I see a wallet. This wallet looked fat. It looked stuffed. And everybody's just walking by. Nobody's picking it up. I'm like, why is nobody picking it up? So I was like suspicious and nervous. And I walked right past it. Lo and behold, as soon as I did that, a woman walked by and she picked it up and she kept going. I remember how she did too. She was fast. She was like, zoom, pick it up and kept going. Didn't stop to look at the wallet or anything. So I'm telling you this because you're going to get at 30 minutes visualizing yourself picking up the wallet, opening it up, and seeing large bills. How much is in there is how much you want to be in there. I prefer not to put a number. I'll just say it's full of large bills. So you only need to do this for 30 minutes. Once a week. For a period, I would say, of 3 weeks. And then stop doing it. Now, you're going to be walking in the street, running your errands, doing your mundane life. I want you to start to look down. And you're going to see, some trash, papers, what have you. I want you to accept the fact that the papers and trash you see aren't really there. In fact, in your mind, I want you to accept the fact that if you see paper or trash, discount the belief. Say to yourself, it's a wallet full of cash. Now, in your normal waking beta state, that's impossible. So you need to be in the alpha state. And this is going to take time. You ever walk and be daydreaming and be not aware of like that you're walking on the street, and before you know it, you reach your destination and you can't remember passing other street signs, or you just know you got to your destination. That's kind of the state you want to be in. You want to be walking down the street, looking down with the expectation of, if you see any trash or anything, it is going to be a wallet full of cash. Now, for this to work, you have to be in a very slumber alpha state. What I mean by that is a little tired, a little out of it, almost like when you wake up. Because magic only happens in 5D. 5D is oneness with all things. Therefore, when you want something, it immediately materializes in the 5D realm. But we exist in 4D, which is 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. But this technique works to be instantaneous. Now, another way you can do this is to force yourself into the alpha state. Oh my goodness. I didn't even notice that. The Wandering Sage. Whoa. May the gods bless you. Look at this. Oh my goodness. You've got Ma'at as your avatar. That is like awesome. That is awesome. Dwau. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. You can see the feather there. I love it. Anyway, sorry, I digress. All right. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. You can force yourself into the alpha state. Now, as I said, there's 2 ways. One, alpha state can come through sleep deprivation. It can come by being just tired, overly taxed in your day-to-day life. Or it can come through you forcing yourself into the alpha state. And the way you can do that is take your eyes and look here at the center of your nose. Pretend like there's a dot here and try to look at it. When you do that, you automatically throw yourself into an alpha state. You're shifting consciousness. And you're going to do that as you're walking for a quick moment or two. And when you practice this, you'll be able to go in that alpha state without having to do anything. You'll just shift it to the alpha state. The more you practice going into the state, the more the state becomes normal. And the more control you have over going in and out of that state. I can go to the dentist's office and sit there in a waiting room and throw myself in the alpha state. It's very easy for me, but for others, it's very difficult. But in order for you to manifest money, you're going to have to get into that alpha state. So when you're walking, throw yourself into the alpha state periodically. Be very careful because you don't want to bump into people. I had that happen once. I think I was walking down the street, and I didn't even know if I bumped into this woman or not, but she turned around and punched me in the back of my head. Boom. And my first instinct was to turn around and knock her out, but I was like, oh, just be calm, just be calm. Be at peace, be one with all. So you're going to have to do that. What you will notice is that the paper will start to look a little like a wallet, but it'll still be paper. And then eventually, if you're doing this on a consistent basis, it's going to, in alchemy, transform into a wallet. Now, the key here is one key element. And it's tricky. It's very tricky. It's almost like being in the flow state. I'm sorry, I should read this. Can you listen to alpha frequencies while meditating or visualizing to put you easier into the state, or even listen to wealth mantras, which you recommend me before? Yes, you can. You can listen to there are audios online that will put you into the alpha state. So you can listen to an audio tape while you're doing it. I don't want you to be reliant on that tool though. That's a bit of a tricky situation. So I prefer you not to do that. Because I want you to be able to get in the alpha state on your own and not depend on an audio tape or anything like that. Okay. So try to do it on your own, because once you learn to put yourself in the alpha state, you can do so many other wonders. Okay. So what you'll notice is when you're walking down the state and you're putting yourself, walking down the street and putting yourself in this alpha state and looking at what's on the floor, it'll start to slowly resemble a wallet. Now, here's the key that makes this work. It's almost like being in the flow state. This alpha state that you're in is the state of being awake but drowsy. But now, the trick of it all is to go into this with expectation of finding the wallet, but not thinking about it. That's tricky. It's that in-between state. So you're walking, you're in the alpha state, you're looking for something, but put it in the back of your mind. Don't necessarily go, I'm looking for a wallet. That won't work. That will sabotage it. You put yourself in the alpha state and you can think about anything. This is why you do the meditation once a week for 30 minutes, because it seeds your mind with the expectation of what you want. But when you go outside and you're walking down the street and you throw yourself in the alpha state, you're not looking for the wallet, but you expect to find it. That's very tricky in between state. That is the secret. That is the key. If you start, if your mind is fully enveloped in the idea of finding it, you won't find it. What will happen is you'll become frustrated. You may do this for 30 days and give up. And then 6 months down the road, you'll find a wallet stuffed with money, which means your technique worked. But because you were thinking so much about it, you didn't give the universe time to manifest it. So you have to shift what you will from the left brain to the right brain. The right brain is the back of the consciousness. It's you're putting it out of mind, but it's still top of mind. Hence, the Bible says, "Be what is it, in the world, but not of the world." Okay, and I know it's very difficult to comprehend, but this is the secret. It is wanting, but okay, not getting. It is wanting, but not thinking about it. It is wanting, but being okay with not receiving. Now, the reason why the construction workers did not see the money before them, because their reality was trash. My reality, which was a parallel reality, it was cash, $50. All right. If you get an opportunity, hit the like button. I really would appreciate it. And donate to the channel. All right. Here's a trick now. There's another trick to this. I want you to know that whenever I give you guys a technique or whatever I do something, it's like my mentor used to tell me, is it field tested? Meaning, have you tested it? Does it work? Does it work consistently? And I would say, yes, that was the rule or requirement of what we were doing. So Not only is this field tested, but I went to the oracles to validate if this technique will work. And the oracle says yes. Now, here's the trick that'll get you in trouble. Here's the trick that'll get you in trouble with the goddess Ma'at. And you have to play this right. You see, my beloved, I was waiting online to get into this club. And don't say I go to clubs a lot. This gentleman in front of me dropped his credit card, his gold credit card. And his line was going, he was in a separate line than myself. I was in one line and he was in another. He was in the wealthy line, to be honest with you, where you have your, what they call is your, I guess your ballers, your whales, people who spend a lot of money. So he was in that line and dropped his wallet. Not his wallet, I'm sorry, his credit card. So I picked up the credit card. Milton, that's a very good book. I recommend that. The Happy Pocket gives you the secret of manifesting. That's a good book. So I picked up the credit card and I saw his name. It was Michael something, right? So I got out my line, not with the understanding that I probably can't get back in line. Ran up to him and said, are you Michael Swartz? And he goes, yes, I am. Why do you want to know? So I said, I believe you dropped this. So he took the card and he was in shock. I don't know why. So he was like, oh, thank you. And to be honest, he was a bit tipsy. His party was drinking. So I ran and was able to get back in line. So I had turned my back and I felt somebody tapping me and I turned around and it was him. And in his hand, he had a bunch of cash. He had some cash and he was giving me the money as a thank you. And I was like, no, I don't need the money. You know, I don't want a reward for doing what I should be doing. He said, no, take it. And his wife was there. She was like, take it. I said, all right. So I took the money, you know. And as I got into the club, he came up to me again saying, thank you. I'm like, all right, no big deal. You know, you're making this into a big deal. It's no big deal. Now, why am I talking about this? You don't want to get into a problem with the goddess Ma. And here's the trick. If you don't do this technique properly, you're not going to get the money. You'll find the wallet. The wallet will be stuffed with money, but you're going to encounter bad luck. Here's why. When you find that wallet and you open it and it has all this cash in high bills, there will probably be an ID in there. So that means you're going to have to return the wallet with the cash to the person. If you do not do that, it's bad karma and you're going to have a really bad luck. Really bad luck. So you need to return the wallet with the cash to its owner. But we have a way of dealing with that. What are we going to do? We're going to visualize ourselves getting the wallet, but there's no identification in the wallet. So make sure when you do your meditation that you see yourself opening the wallet, seeing the large bills, but no identification. This way, it comes from the gods and not necessarily from an individual that lost his wallet, because we don't want to do our magic where we take something from somebody. Because then the universe says, well, I have to balance this out. If I'm taking it from somebody to give it to you, then I have to take something from you and give it to somebody else. So be careful, because whatever you do your magic, understand that if you take from somebody, you have to balance that. The universe is always seeking balance. So that's the technique. Of course, there's a little more detail to that, which is why I recommend you becoming a member of Patreon and checking out that video where I really get into the details of getting into the alternate state of consciousness and some other stuff. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Try this technique. Let me know how it works out for you. I love testimony. All right. You may want to set a number. You may say it has, well, put it this way. I wouldn't say, like when I first started out manifesting the money, I started out with $10. And when I found the $10, it instilled more of my belief. And I was able to go and say, I want $50. You know what the most amazing thing was? And I couldn't believe it. When I said I wanted to find $50, I walked out of my apartment where I was living in New York, walked out of my apartment, and there was $50 on the floor. And I picked it up in total, utter shock. Because I was like, this stuff works. Whoa. I didn't find $10. I didn't find $20. I found $50, exactly what I asked for. To this day, I'm still like in awe of that. Even though I've had better experiences, that you're always going to remember your first experience. The trick is, when I was studying with my hypnosis teacher, when I got through studying with him, I said, you know what? I just realized something. This is more about belief than technique. He goes, you're right. That's what it's all about. It's all about belief. Malcolm Talbot in his book, The Holographic Universe, said, the people that could manipulate reality, the ones who were very good, had a strong belief that they could do it. So this is what it's all about. It's about belief. The belief is stronger than the technique. When I was working with my friend from Canada, they always say, the technique alone wouldn't work if he didn't have a strong belief, because he had worked with me in the past and seen me do things, wondrous things. His belief was instilled. So when I said, I'm going to put you into an altered state of consciousness, I'm going to put you into trance, snap my finger, he went into trance. He was like, because he believed. This is why left brain people, it's very difficult for them to believe in the supernatural, the metaphysical. And it takes me longer to work with left brain people. It takes me longer to put them into a state of trance. Remember one girl I went up to, and I'm talking to her, and she didn't realize I was doing hypnosis. Should I tell the story? I'm wondering. My lawyer may say, be quiet, don't tell the story. And she was enthralled. She was like attracted to me because I'm good with the magic. And I knew she was very right brain because it worked fast on her. Where another girl, I went up to talk to her and nothing. And I was like, oh, shoot. She's left-brained. She's probably like an accountant, So I said, okay, I'm going to have to do the deepener. The deepener is a technique where I take you really, really deep in trance. I'll get into that in subsequent videos. So I want to thank you all for tuning in today. This is Qesankh Keperu, son of the goddess Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until the next video, I'm in Ra.